Okay, well, this is the third interview at the Budgerigar Society 2018 Club Show, and we have the McGoverns with us. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and speak with us. Well, can you tell us what you've won? Firstly, it's a long list, so.
Well, we have the best in show and the best opposite sex.
Fantastic.
In the show, we have several CCs. Don't bother me shouting them all out, but we got several CCs on the day with adult and young birds. So I don't know exactly because I haven't counted them myself. Have you counted them? I think it's about 6 or 7 CCs on the day.
And obviously your new name on the roll call of Budgerigar Society Club Show winners. How does that feel, as to be a bench the best in show?
Yeah, well, it's a great feeling, because obviously this is what you thrive for. You have the birds for many years. I've been breeding the birds since I was 14. Joe, he's been doing the birds younger than that, since he was a boy. And Callum, of course, has helped me along the way. So yeah, it takes a long time to get here, and it is a great feeling to be on that list. It is fantastic.
It's a great achievement.
You know, it's what you thrive for. It's what it's about to win this show, isn't it?
All the hard work's paid off.
I know of many people and they've been really good breeders of budgies, and they've never made best in show at the club show. It just hasn't happened for them. So we're very lucky. We're very lucky.
I mean, you say, I think you probably do need a lot of luck in this hobby, but it appears to most of us that the ones who are continually successful, as you guys are, you work very hard at it. Is it the sort of the small attention to detail that stands you out, would you say, from other fanciers?
Doesn't happen overnight. Like, he's been doing it for how long? He just said luck, you do need a bit of luck, but the hard work that we do every night, 2, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah, routine. Night. You must have routine if you want to get to where we are, if you like. And there's lots of people out there who are similar to us in the way they do things.
It's still only a hobby. We all have full-time jobs, and it's still a hobby.
But you must have routine with the birds. You must set yourself out with a routine that you stick to, and the way you feed them, and the way you operate when it comes to the shows. We have a way of doing things, and it proves today that the way we prepare our show birds, particularly, stands well on the day.
Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because obviously people watching this will be really keen to learn from you. What would be your kind of...
Well, preparation before any show season, obviously you're looking for the birds in the flights to see which ones are good enough. And 6, 7 weeks before your first show, if you haven't caught any birds, you need to be looking at birds have they got their feathers. So you look for any birds with broken tails, or broken tails that aren't right, whatever way, you pull them out, and the flight's the same. And then of course, spots not so much. I'm not one for pulling spots, because you can't tell with a spot. You see, the thing is with spots, they don't half break like a tail or a flight. You can't, if a spot is brand new and you pull it, likely as it won't grow again. So I'm not one for pulling spots. We've done well with a few birds today who have spots missing, so it's not the end of the world to pull spots. And I was saying to Joe, because birds were losing spots just before the show, it's not the end of the world, because we've had best young bird in show at championship shows with birds with an obvious spot missing, because they were good enough. So it's not the end of the world spot. So what we do then, that's 6 weeks before the show. We'll catch the birds up roughly 5 weeks before the first show, and we're spraying them to begin with every day to get them look off.
First week, 10 days every day.
Just plain water?
No, plume spray in water, warm water. I do that every day at like 6 o'clock before I go to work, and then over the weekend.
Now, could I say, this is where the dedication comes in. It used to be my job to get up and spray the birds when Joe was younger. Couldn't ask him to do it. But he gets up now, 6 o'clock in the morning. He will spray a show team of 60 birds before he goes to work. And he'll do that to begin with every day. And as we get close to the show, 3-4 weeks away maybe, we might change it. Depending on how the birds are coming into condition, we will change it to every other day. It's very important
as well, because of the summer, the hot summer we had, it was every day. And it was cold water. You've got to wet the pen like at the moment, it's warm water, it's cold weather.
You don't want to shock the birds depending on the type of weather you're having. So hot and cold is just common sense. Lukewarm is fine all the time, is the best way. So yeah, so that's the routine for spraying the birds. And yeah, okay, you get them ready, spot them out before the show. When we've got a big show coming up, like a championship show, we'll spot them out the week before the show. Start to spot them out. So I call it phase 1, and then 5 or 6 days before the show, I'll call it phase 2, and then 2 or 3 nights before the show, we'll finish them off, and we won't handle the birds again after that. They'll be finished. All we do then is dip their tails before they come out to the show.
And the cocks are divided into 2s, anymore in 2, they're fighting as a territory thing. Hens can be in 1 cage altogether. We've got 12 hens all in the same cage, run through cages. As it comes to cocks, they're quite dominant, so you become pals and you've got to be watching for them, fighting, getting on well.
And in terms of feeding leading up to the show, what?
Same regimes throughout all year. Feed them soft food every other night, sprays.
We are a big believer in the red millet spray, in that birds, even birds that maybe feel a wee bit off, you can always get them to eat the red millet spray.
They go wild for it.
Yeah.
Other people's ABs might be different, you don't know.
I know they're very expensive, and I do sympathise with people coming into the hobby. We used to only use the yellow millet spray because the red sprays were so expensive. But if you can afford the red spray,
same birds,
they do
say, as you said, they'll eat it because obviously it goes like wildfire for them, people in our age, that is, but it's worth it in the long run.
And can you tell us a bit about the Best in Show bird? How many shows has it been at, sort of the last?
Well, last year, as a young bird, as you probably know, he was best young bird here last year. He won best young bird in show at 5 other shows leading up to the BS Club show. So we kind of knew he was a special budgie.
Yeah. He got beat at 1 show for the best young bird, and that was by the hen. That's one best opposite sex. That's a good story to go down.
Yes. This year as an adult, the first show we put him out at was the Lancashire and Cheshire Area Society show. He was best in show there. He went to the Clwyd Championship the following weekend, and he was also best in show there. And of course, these sort of birds, when they have 2 shows, they do start to get a bit fed up with it all. So we did put him out at another show where we thought he was in really good nick, but he didn't blow and stand like he can do. So we decided to retire him from showing for the rest of the season, and we prepared him for this show particularly.
And in terms of going forward now, do you think we'll see this bird again, or is he that valuable that he'll be in the breeding pen?
Oh no, we wouldn't.
He's had 16 babies this year, so he'll go again this year come November. Give him a month's rest in the flight now.
No, we wouldn't retire, because people need to see these birds. It's part of the hobby. I don't believe in when a bird wins. It's not like horses, is it? Where you retire them off to stud or something. Okay, when he's old, and we think he's now. A lot of birds, for me, people bring them out, and I see them as stock birds rather than show birds, because they've gone past where they show at their best. So they are better staying at home. But when you have a bird like our grey today, who is a really good show bird, he needs to be seen at the shows doing his best. They're the birds that people want to see.
Fantastic. And probably just the last question, sort of slightly off at a tangent from the club show. When you pair your birds, do you line breed, or are you more looking just to put for features?
No, we line breed. We never inbreed. and I know you can achieve better things with the birds quicker by inbreeding, but you ruin your fertility, so I see no point in that. We have line bred the birds since I was a beginner.
Outcrosses are key as well.
Yeah.
You've got to bring outcrosses in all the time.
And what? How? I mean, how many breeding cages do you have?
95.
Okay, so if you've got 95 pairs,
Yeah.
would you? How many outcrosses would you bring in, say, in
Yeah,
a
well,
year?
we like to mix it up. Like we've gone through 5 years where we didn't buy a bird, and then we got stood in from a guy called Paul Cunliffe in 2008. That helped us on a bit, so we didn't have to buy anything for 5 years because we had an extra 250 birds to use. So then when my dad's always gone to Joe Mann's,
For the 60th, that was the last time we went.
so we went in 2015 for my dad's 50th.
60th.
60th, sorry.
Yeah.
And this year we've been to the Mills. So.
Yeah, last year we got Sussex. Yeah. Last year we got some birds from Alan Margin, didn't we?
Yeah, Alan Margin.
Which was late on in the year, and they're still big. Most of them are just young birds flying around at the moment. We've had a couple of chips to Arthur Pipers over the years. He's got very good birds. We choose who is the top breeder, and we go. Never believe in buying just one bird. I will always come home with as many as I can afford. And because there's nothing worse than travelling a long way, buying one bird, and you lose it or it doesn't fill eggs. That's been a waste of a trip. So we will always buy somewhere between 5 and 10 birds at a time. And we will not necessarily go back to the same breeder year in, year out. We'll choose somebody else, because all the top breeders have good birds, so there's no, and they'll mix with yours. If you look today, how many really good breeders there are here with their birds, any one of those people can supply you with the sort of birds you're looking for, because they're breeding a similar type of bird. The best birds are very similar to look at, regardless of colour. And
in terms of, for a beginner, say, who'll be watching this thinking, well, I need to sort of take my stud forward, would you say to them to go and buy from one particular breeder, like a family, match pairs, or go and get that kind of one stonking outcross to put into their own birds? What approach would you take if you were that breeder with, say, 10 breeding cages? What would be your advice?
Well, try and get as many as you can or can afford, as just said. Don't hold back, basically, because we want to always improve, which we are. We always try and improve feeding regimes, buying birds in, different lighting systems, and it's all there. So much change you can make.
I think what happens with a beginner, generally, they'll latch on to a champion breeder, and he may not be the best, he may not be winning the best in show regularly, but it's important to latch on to a champion breeder and learn from him. He will put you in the right direction. When and you will buy some birds from him, no doubt, but when you feel that you've reached the stage where the sort of birds he's selling you are not really what you're looking for, and you'll know that yourself in your own mind, that then you need to go somewhere else and improve again. But really, there's any good champion breeder can help these beginners from the start. It doesn't have to be the ones who's winning the best in show. That could be a mistake, because sometimes those people are a bit more expensive than the others.
Sure. Well, Frank Carroll and Joe McGovern, thank you very much for talking to us today. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And we hope you will enjoy in about 20 minutes' time when you go and pick up a whole heap of trophies. So enjoy your moment, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.